Welcome to the Covenant Physical Therapy broadcast, where we are dedicated to help active listeners feel, move, and live better. Our host is Dr. Sarah Martinez, a doctor of physical therapy and the founder of Covenant Physical Therapy right here in Houston, Texas.
And so that's affordable and simple. Nobody likes to do it. Nobody likes to hear it, but it's important for your overall health too. And if you skip that stuff and you just go around like ordering labs and tinkering and taking things, you're not going to get the results you want, and you're not going to be investing in your long-term health in the way that if you really shored up your habits, you would be. So it's really a combination, but I would say generally it involves for me more like mindful choices about when am I eating? Do I really need to eat? Is food the best answer to this issue? Or am I just like in a rush or hangry or emotional or whatever? Then if I am eating intentionally, what am I choosing? Mostly whole foods, mostly plants and protein, mostly stuff I made myself. That's a great place to start. And most people aren't doing that. Some people legit are. Some people legit are. They're really doing it all right. But most people aren't. They're cutting corners and they're driving through, and this is slipping in, and I didn't really think about that thing I drove through and got, or this late nighty thing that I didn't talk to you about. You know, it's a lot of like this and that and this and that. And the margin of error, I'm so sorry to say, for me and for you both, the margin of error in this time of life is just, it's getting smaller.
Yeah.
You just can't get away with 2 to 3 extra 100 calories a day.
Right.
Like you used to could.
You just used to grab a few nuts, and you grab now double the amount of nuts.
Yeah.
The nuts are so nutrient dense. I mean, it's great. They're great for you, but that's 200 calories.
Or like somebody's eating, so I eat 2 between meals when I didn't really need it. Like little things like that add up across a day. And you know, the bottom line for weight change in the body is there are different drivers of it, but weight comes on due to calorie excess in one way or another.
Yeah.
And maybe legit, like some people are like, don't tell me that. Legit, like some of that is changes in your hormone signaling under the surface that's changing how hungry you are, that's changing when you're satisfied. So you don't see it as a change, but the bottom line is you're maybe eating 200 calories or 300 or 400 calories more in a day on average, and it puts you in a surplus, and then you gain weight. And the hormones are saying, put it here, not there. You know, the hormones under the surface are affecting it, but the bottom line is we have to like change how we approach food. You know, what we choose, why we choose it, the work we put into it. And then making sure that we're tending to, you know, this decline in muscle that's happening, you know, mid-30s and beyond for sure, really ticking up as you lose hormones in your 50s for sure, if you're not replacing them. Like we have to get on the ball, because if you're losing, you know, a pound or 2 of muscle, you're losing a few calories, you know, that you could have been burning, and you're losing your ability to manage blood sugar better. And so these like food and fitness choices together really can like halt the weight change and start to shift the body composition back to one that's more fit and more able to maintain. So a more muscular body, a more fit body, a more metabolically sound body. So it really does come down to largely food choices, with maybe looking at the hormones in the labs that affect it and addressing those so that they're helping us and not hurting us at the same time.
Yeah, that makes total sense, because it's such a huge component of like, you know, just our habits. And I like what you said about the body. It's like, I think a lot of people don't realize when they're in their 40s that they may weigh the same. Their composition is different.
Right.
So they've gotten more fat, less muscle.
Right.
And so they're like, well, I weigh the same. I haven't gained any weight. I weigh the same as when I got married.
Yeah.
But you know what? You probably had 10 pounds more muscle, and that muscle was burning calories for you all day long. So I think putting on muscle is such a huge way for people to lose weight. Not even just to lose weight, but to have longevity.
Yeah, it's more of a long game play, right? So these are 2 different mindsets, and it is tricky. I think, you know, different women are at different places, and that's okay. I'm really big on like, where are you at? And let's like, let me go there with you. Let's forecast the future, but then let's just like take the next 1 or 2 steps from where you are. And some women honestly are at the place where they're like, longevity, like I need the 10 pounds off.
Yeah.
And like, that's fine. Let's work within that. Let's just do it in a way that's like smart. So even if you don't care about it, I know it's investing in making it easier for you to maintain that weight loss later and be healthier for longer. So we want to start like strategically losing the weight. So yeah, I'm going to be thinking like, we need to be in a moderate calorie deficit, not a crazy one. We need to be shifting habits. You know, we need to be like cranking up the protein a little, beefing up the plants a lot, making sure they're not eating and drinking mindlessly at the wrong times. And all of that is pretty straightforward. And usually in the first, couple of months, we start to see some change. They feel better, it's like a couple of pounds are coming, but I'm feeling like things are fitting better.
Yes.
It's not drastic, but it's like a change that's meaningful that can then motivate the next couple of months.
Right.
And there may be a point, I've got several midlife clients here right now. There may be a point where it's like, we've gotten as far as we can get, and those last 10 or 15 pounds are really sticky.
Yeah.
And are you okay with that? Are you okay knowing we've been watching your body composition and it's much better, even if it's not ideal? Are you okay with your being like one size up from what you were before? Or are you not?
Right.
Or maybe you're okay with it, but your labs are showing your lipids and your inflammatory marker, they're still a little too high.
Right.
And then there's the additional conversation of like, are you restoring hormones? Is that something you need? Because those things are shown to improve body composition, insulin, lipids, and all that as well, inflammation as well. GLPs are another side of the conversation. I've got several clients doing that, where we've like layered these things on to the base of the nutrition and lifestyle. And it really does increase the payout, I'll just say, especially with weight. It's like they're still doing the same foundational work and mindset work, but now with like more tools on the board, the payout is a little more. So I think that's the right way to do it, to like solidify the foundation, make the right day-to-day choices, shift your mindsets, learn new habits where needed, learn how to love protein and plants and get very disciplined about that. Know where fun fits in, because we all need fun and flex, but like keep it in check so it's not sabotaging you. And then leverage the other tools we have in modern medicine, if you need them, and they can help immensely in how you feel and your health markers.
Yeah, it's like the two coming together.
Yeah, it really is both. Yeah, it's not either or.
And I find a lot of people are not as much concerned. I mean, there are some people who really just want to weigh a certain number.
Yeah.
But a lot of people, it's like they just want to feel good in their clothes. They want to feel strong. They want to feel fit. And so, it's like, the number on the scale, we know between 5 pounds, it can be water. It can be how much, so many factors. It's like it can vary so many things day to day. And so, and also if your body composition is changing, you might weigh a little more when you have more muscle on you, so that's okay. And I know a lot of my clients are just looking for, I want to be able to get up and down off the floor when I'm 80. I don't really care if I weigh 120 pounds. Sometimes those people are the ones that don't live, they fall and they crack and they're not strong. You know what I'm saying? So I think the weight factor, it's not really the weight, it's more of like feeling fit.
Yes, it's the feeling and it's like the composition, and then I think it's the labs and health metrics. And if all those things check out and you're happy with it, then I don't care. Yeah, I mean, I think, we have research now to show it's these extremes of not a scale weight per se, but like a frailty thing. So the people who are strong, whether they're, overweight or underweight, the people who are strong do better than the people who are not. So the people who are more muscular and stronger do better. So the people who are not strong, overweight and underweight, they do very poorly. So you don't want to be skinny. You might be lean. Right. But not too lean. Like women do need a certain amount of body fat. Yeah. Anyway, so I think, focusing on the strength and the function paired with like the labs and the symptoms and the other markers of health are the best way to go. And that's why I am becoming a bigger fan of these body composition scales. I think I did most of my early career where it was very more hands-off with numbers, not so much counting and tracking and thinking about food and weighing and all that, because a lot of us, myself included, have kind of a sordid history with that. Yeah. And I think we do need to be very careful and navigate it with nuance for each person. Yeah. I'm not a fan of women like tracking and weighing and overthinking everything they ever eat forever and ever. Yeah. But as a short-term kind of learning experiment or evaluation or relearning what food should look like on your plate and how much your body needs, I mean, I think it can be very helpful. Paired with these like body comp scales that are really fairly accurate and very affordable. And if you can have that device in your home for a single payment that you would pay more to go get a DEXA scan once and get radiation, why not buy the scale at home and get on it all the time? And then we can do like, I've recently been having clients do like at least once a week, you just log it, like no judgment, just log it. And then we're going to watch that over the months, and we watch the water line. Like, is the fat going generally down? Is the muscle going generally up? It will go up slower than the fat will go down, but generally. Yeah. And it can be so encouraging for the person who's like, I've bobbled around with the same 10 pounds, or I can only get 5 off, but I really want 12 off. But if we're continuing to see improvements in the composition
Yeah.
where you're only swapping a half pound here or there, but the right stuff is going in the right direction. It's so affirming for people, especially women who I think naturally in midlife, we start to have this more like deeper focus, internal focus, longevity focus. We're of course aware of the externals, but you know, we're less concerned and motivated by the externals. We really are wanting to make sure we're solid underneath.
Right.
And I think those body comp scales can be a good tool to do that, especially when the general weight or size of the body is like not changing as much as you kind of hoped.
Yeah.
You might be doing the right work. It might just be slower.
Right.
But it's moving. The right things are moving. You know?
And that's keeps you going.
For sure. So motivating.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I love to work out because I love to, I mean, I just feel, the feeling afterwards is just so good. And so like, I always tell my clients, I'm like, I don't work out to be like, I'm going to burn 500 calories on the treadmill.
Yeah.
Like I could never think of exercise in that way. It would absolutely take all the joy away from my, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I know that's a real thing. You obviously need to, you know, if you're trying to lose weight.
It's part of the equation.
It's part of the deficit of like losing weight, right?
It could be, yeah.
Yeah. But in general, I'm like, I think movement is so good for our, just how we feel every day.
Absolutely. I mean, research agrees with you. Yeah. I mean, I often will tell people that, you know, according to research, like if you collate all the studies, the work of losing weight, and most of it's been done with like food and fitness, right? Those are the two variables in most studies, especially if you look at all the studies we have over time. Most of the work, like I'm talking 90 to 95% of the work is done with the food.
Yeah.
That's where weight loss is mostly being done.
Yeah, because
so you can push hard on the exercise thing, but if you're like killing it on the treadmill to burn off all your cookies, like you're talking about a 5, maybe 10% possibility of impacting the bottom line there. So I really encourage people to exercise for what you gain, not for what you lose. Like, because you're right, it does, according to research, add energy, improve sleep, decrease inflammation, improve blood sugar. I mean, it's just like the possibilities are endless. And I've said many times before, like I have multiple degrees in nutrition. I'm supposed to be biased in that direction, but like I think exercise has more potential to add health than food. Food will keep you from bad health and can add some health. But exercise is like, you know, muscle is this organ that you can build yourself. Are you kidding me? Like, what if you could build 3 livers to do triple the job? Like, you can do that. You can do that with muscle. You can do that with your vascular system, with cardiovascular work, and give it the ability to expand bigger and even widen. So I think it's an amazing tool. And I'm so glad the conversation in recent years is more about its positive potential to add to you versus part of the like losing equation. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and it makes you, I think it motivates you to want to eat healthier.
Yeah, it's an upward cycle kind of.
You go on a run, you're like, I want to go home and eat a salad. I feel like something healthy. You don't want to go and immediately eat something junk, you know? But I know there's a lot of research too that exercise, you know, reduces almost a ton of cancers, a lot of,
for sure.
I mean, it's just, there's so much good stuff that, you know, you can get from it.
If you're enjoying this content, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who could benefit. Now, back to Dr. Sarah Martinez and today's featured guest, nutritionist Dena Norton of Back to the Book, Nutrition.
Okay, so I want to ask you about protein. I know a lot of us are just being bombarded every day with like, you need to eat 1 million grams of protein. And I know it is true. You need to eat a lot of protein, more than a lot of us sometimes naturally want to eat as women. With some we kind of gear towards, it's easier not to make a protein, honestly, right? What can we do about getting sources of protein besides just eating handfuls of protein powder every day? It's in every recipe, you know?
Yeah. Well, I think it does take more work on the planning and prep, to be honest, or it takes more money to pay for prepped proteins that someone's already gone to that trouble for.
Or the ones that are like hormone free and, you know, like,
there's that. I mean, that's kind of a second layer of conversation. Like, do you need all that?
Yeah.
I would say you don't need all that. You could certainly opt for it. If you have access to it and you can pay for it, awesome. It's icing.
Right.
So the cake is, you gotta eat the protein. Whether you make it or somebody else makes it, or whether you cheat and do protein powders and bars and sticks to kind of close the gap. I do those once a day for sure, because I have a little bit more of an aggressive target. And so when you're aiming high, I mean, yes, ideally we would all be in the kitchen all day making all the things from scratch.
Right.
For sure, that's best.
Yeah.
Who's doing that? Not me.
Yeah.
I'm really trying to do most of it. So yes, for sure, the majority of your protein should come from whole foods, hopefully that you make yourself or someone else makes in a similar way that you would. So things like flesh, lots more fish and seafood. For most of the women, I eat meat with. And I often check like omega-3 levels, like, are you really getting enough of that? You know, selenium, are you up on that? If not, let's like jack up the fish and seafood. So that's a great way to get like good quality protein with really healthy fats most of us need more of. And then behind that, I would say lean cuts of all the other, you know, animal things, poultry, red meat, whatever. I do think erring on the leaner side is a good idea, especially as we age and lipids become an issue, which we haven't discussed today. And then, you know, underneath that, I would say the whole dairy category, again, especially I think lower fat dairy is, you know, kind of my preference. Just most of the women I meet need to kind of slim down on the saturated fat side of it. But dairy is a great quality protein. Eggs are a great quality protein. And then beneath that, I would say like all the plant proteins, especially beans and peas and legumes and the things that have a few more grams per serving. Soy, big fan of that. You know, other plant proteins that are in like grains and such, it's really pretty minuscule. It's like nice that it's there, but it's not meaningful. Yeah. So animal and plant proteins both, I think, can do the job. I think it's best to have some of all of it. Variety really is the spice of life nutritionally, according to the research. So I think that should do the heavy lifting. And at every meal, you should have like an identifiable protein source, you know, and even if you're not counting grams, which some people should do for a little time to like learn how much protein is on that portion. But even if you're not doing that, like proportionally, when you're looking at your plate, there should be like a good quarter of the plate, maybe a third is like the protein. I mean, that's kind of close to what you're talking about 3 times a day. And then, you know, if you need to like beef that up at breakfast or have a snack on the go, I would say choose one of these things, like a protein powder drink or a bar or something that's going to give you, you know, 10, 15, sometimes 20 grams of extra protein to kind of supplement your day and hit your target. But yeah, I think living on bars and powders, I mean, those are ultra processed foods. Okay. They are cheats and shortcuts, and I'm so glad they're there, but they shouldn't be making up the bulk of what you eat because they lack the other nutritional value that these whole foods are going to provide.
So even like the collagen peptides.
I mean, it's fine, but it's
still
a bonus.
Process.
It's a bonus. It's highly processed. I mean, some people will argue about the quality of collagen. They don't even count it for protein because it doesn't have all the amino acids. That's a whole other conversation. Anyway, it's fine. I would say if you are a protein powder person, like for instance, I have protein powder pretty much every day. It's like a little, you know, soy milk with protein powder because it's 30 grams of protein and it's very easy to do on the go. And that's like a big punch to hit my goal. So I do it every day. I would choose like a whey or an egg protein or a beef protein or a pea or rice or a hemp or a blended plant protein. I would choose one of those instead of collagen, because when you're really trying to make it one of your protein sources, like those others are probably going to have, they're going to be better quality. Now, if you want to throw collagen in there for the benefits of collagen, which are more like hair, skin, and nails and gut, awesome. I do it too. But I'm not like relying on collagen alone for like many grams of protein.
So like another type of protein powder source would be better.
Yeah,
for
a
actual
more
protein.
complete protein powder I think would be ideal if you're using it for that purpose, like getting grams of protein in a day.
Gotcha.
If you found this conversation helpful, please take a moment to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to stay tuned for the final part of this series, where Dr. Sarah Martinez and nutritionist Dena Norton continue exploring how women can better prepare for and navigate the perimenopause stage of life. May the Lord richly bless you.